All right, welcome back, and thank you for keeping it Citizen Television. We really do not take your time and company for granted. Karibu sana as we kickstart our conversation for this particular morning, looking at the state of affairs at the devolved units. And of course, we'll be talking about matters funding and of course, other issues that have emerged as we try to seek the best way of making the devolution dream work. I'm having a panel of 3 gentlemen already with me in studio. In case you're just joining us, allow me to run you through who I'm hosting. From my far right, we have Mheshimiwa Richard Onyonka, the Senator for Kisii County. Asante for creating time. We also have with us Kevin Osido, the Executive Director, County Governance Watch. Asante. And with us also is Mheshimiwa Yusuf Chanzu, who is the former MP Vihiga. Asante sana for creating time. And of course, like I told you, expecting CPA Githinji Kiragu, the Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee, should be joining us. But either way, we start right away, and we will be starting with what we have just even highlighted for you. It's part of the developing stories that our team has been following. From Nyamira County, there seems to be confusion. We have parallel county assemblies operating and even making official communication in regards to the going-ons within the county. And I'd like my panelists to start us off with this particular confusion that is emanating from the Nyamira County this particular day. The Senate Devolution Committee yesterday was left stunned after there was that revelation that Nyamira is running and operating with 2 parallel county assemblies. So because it was at the Senate, I'll start with you, Mheshimiwa Onyonka. I mean, how possible is this even? And what are your thoughts about the developments from Nyamira County having 2 parallel, county assemblies operating, and what does this even mean for the residents of this particular county?
Thank you very much. Good morning. The scenario you have in Nyamira is actually very unfortunate, but it's not uniquely Nyamira phenomena. If you look at many of the county governments, they have got these challenges. If you saw the hearings that we were having yesterday, the speaker was explaining how he was kicked out. In fact, they had to show a video how he was literally being beaten off his office. That is when MCAs had agreed that they were going to impeach the governor. But they didn't succeed because they had, I think, either 1 extra MCA or 2, which made it possible for Mr. Nyaribo not to be impeached. Now, when you go deeper into the questions and the issues raised, you find that some of the issues that are being raised and the consequences of the behavior is purely based on, I think, that many of our people have never understood this thing we call democracy. That when you, for example, have an MC, a member of the county assembly, or you have a member who is, when they are, if you look at what the issues are that they've been fighting about and the challenges that they have, very unfortunately, it's something that you look at and it's embarrassing. I mean, you have MCAs fighting each other, and the assembly you have, when you ask them what are really the issues that you're fighting about, they will tell you, we don't know, it is the speaker who has got a problem. Sometimes they tell you it's the clerk. So the hearings we had yesterday, we were trying to tell them that if they do not agree, that they are going to sit down as adults and discuss what needs to be done. Most likely, the recommendation of the committee might end up being that the county is actually disbanded. So what we told them yesterday was that look for a way on how you can sit together, even when you have disagreed, and figure out how they are going to give and take and make sure that somehow the county runs. Right now, the county is not running. It is not running. It seems like it is running with 2 parallel, but how possible even, what is the legal ground for that to even work when an ousted speaker runs, a parallel sitting and a deputy speaker is running another? Also, I'd like to hear your thoughts on what this means, because they've gone beyond just even having their own internal issues. They've gone to the level of even writing to the Auditor General seeking withdrawal of funds, both functions
factions doing that. I mean, what are we looking at? What crisis are we looking at this particular point in Nyamira?
Thank you so much, Serafin. The crisis is enormous. It is extreme. It is largely dishonorable. And if you asked me, like you really have, I agree with the Senator that through the provisions of Article 192 of the Constitution of Kenya, Nyamira County government probably is headed towards a recommendation that, as he says, that the Senate might consider asking that the President, that this is suspended and that a tribunal is set up to be able to help these wonderful ladies and gentlemen who, as I said, are now behaving dishonorably because elected members seated in the assembly are normally referred to as honorable members. So when you get to this kind of a level, of course, service delivery to the people of Nyamira is hampered. I do not think that it is in the right spirit of either side of the assemblies to write to the controller of budget to stop the funding, because if you look at how the budgeting process is done, it is the executive really that gets the resources and then it goes further to other arms like the county assembly. So what the members of the county assembly of Nyamira are doing is largely wasting time for them to support the county government to be able to do a number of very critical things. One is appropriation of resources to be able to discharge the mandate of the county government. Number two, of course, is the passage of requisite laws, really, that are required for the county government to be able to discharge its mandate. And I think, therefore, that other good manners that we have seen from other jurisdictions, particularly counties that have also gone through this kind of an issue, like Makueni County, during the term and tenure of Professor Kivutha Kibwana, who actually asked that the county government be disbanded. And when the members of county assembly saw that, they decided to have an internal mediation mechanism for them to deal with their disputes. And that would be my recommendation to Nyamira County. Sadly, as I finish, is that we do not have an IEBC right now, and in fact, even a law on recall. So Article 104 might not even apply to the people of Nyamira County for them to recall these people. But I think moving closer to the election, it is a good stage to look at, and especially in terms of, one, how we vote and who we vote for. So for the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker, I think it is important for you to sit and agree on how you want to move the county government through the assembly forward.
Before I come to Mheshimiwa Chanzu, I mean, don't we have like proper laid down principles that should guide under such circumstances when, for instance, a speaker is ousted and, you know, there's a way in which the county can continue to run? What recourse do the residents have? Because we cannot just say that they are left at a helpless position such that anybody just can come and run the county as they wish. There has to be some sort of legal mechanisms on how the county can continue to operate as the internal disputes are being sorted, whichever way they decide to do it. Yeah, the recourse is indeed part of it is where the issue and the matter is at right now at the Senate. And I am imagining that the members of the residents of Nyamira County now need to be enjoined as amicus to be able to, you know, also present their petitions and their memoranda around these issues, and particularly because they're the ones who are suffering from lack of effective service delivery. Not that services are not being delivered, but that there are no requisite legislations that are supposed to be done by the county assembly to be able to support the executive to do those works. And therefore, the recourse for the citizens is largely to support the county assembly process. Some of the things that we train citizens or build the capacities of citizens to be able to do through rather at County Governance Watch is WhatsApping your MCA, writing a letter to your MCA, and also petitioning them, and therefore coming together in networks and groups of stakeholders or sector working groups to be able to generate articles that therefore would be able to help the members of county assembly to see why it is important for them to deal with these issues. Because again, as the Swahili say, Serafin, wafahali wawili wakipigana ni nyasi ndio umia. So as these issues are going on, it is really the people. MCAs don't care, by the way. These good people that sometimes are just as normal like ourselves, once they are elected there, they change, they turn. And so it is quite unfortunate that this is happening in Nyamira, a county that you'd have expected that would be much more progressive and based on a number of governance indicators that have fallen short
of the expectations of the citizens, and that once they are elected, they'll be offering support to the county government to respond to those dire challenges that the citizens are facing.
All right. Mheshimiwa Chanzu, as you weigh in on this matter, and it's not just a Nyamira issue, there's also some drama that we have witnessed from Machakos County just yesterday when the Assembly Speaker, Ann Kiusia, was forced to abruptly suspend all sittings. There was a chaotic day at the Assembly that left MCAs injured, and she was holed up in her office for a better part of the day under police protection. This is not the so-called honorable behavior that we're expecting from the honorable members of the County Assembly. I mean, talk to us about the state of affairs in the counties when it comes to the pictures we are witnessing. And is it about the people, or is it about some vested interest among the members of the County Assembly?
Thank you very much. I think one thing I'm very appreciative of today is this topic. When I saw it, and then I saw, although I got the information late, but I'm very happy about it, and I'm very happy that Mheshimiwa Onyonka is here, because he can remember some of the history. You see, like we were just joking there saying, you know, you have a strategic plant, eh? Mm-hmm. And I think this is what we are harvesting in this country. Because these problems, I think, they are across all over. But the way it depends also on the way the governors handle the MCAs. Like some of the experiences I have myself from the interactions I've made all over, they're totally different. But it is because, you see, anything we do here politically, there is always animosity. You know, we never get something done just in a peaceful moment, the way we woke up today and then we came here. Mm-hmm. There is always tug of war. Like when we got the Constitution, in fact, I don't know much more Onyonka as Senator, if you can remember, the moment President Kibaki became president, then he got involved in he had been involved in an accident, and then he was hospitalized. I actually thought the Pentagon people would sit back and we look at the Constitution afresh. Because most of the things were done because of the regime which was there before. It was being done so that we can get that regime out. That's why we made some changes, which when I look at them, I can't believe. Another thing we thought that the people were going to elect in counties, like governors and so on. They were going to be like angels, because we were saying, if the resources are being shared from Nairobi, like where we are sitting, you cannot know what's happening in Nyamira right now. You can't know what's happening in Vihiga, where I come from. So we were assuming that the people closer, they are the ones who are going to take care of the interests of the people on the ground. But these guys have gone there and made their own kingdoms there. I don't know.
So are you suggesting that devolution perhaps was a missed dream, that was not the direction?
We didn't do it properly. And I think that's why Ndamba Gitonga, unfortunately, the chairman said that after some time, maybe I think about 10 years, we should look at the Constitution afresh. Because what we have done, you know the main idea, and I think when you sit here, you cannot know. But some of us, because, you know, we come from the rural areas, we know, the idea was that actually it started this way. It started at parliamentary level. When we said that if somebody is sitting in treasury and is sharing money out, he may not be able to know what is happening in the villages there. So we looked at wards there were going to be too many. We looked at provinces there were going to be too many. So we came to the constituencies. So even the other day, I think I saw there was a governor here who was saying that the counties should be allowed to continue giving out money for bursary. But you see, bursary, like he can tell you, the CDF was supposed to help education, both bursary and education. So you know, the moment a governor says that I want to be doing that, you are again leaving a situation problem with the constituents, because the constituents are also not running well with the CDF. So we need, I think, to...
So you're okay with the concept of devolution?
Yes.
What you're not okay with is how we went about it.
It has now been personalized.
Okay.
You see, we must have, you see, like now, the way you're running this station, you know, it is very organized.
Yeah. Yeah, very
if we were trying like this, because you see, we have come in.
Because we are honorable and disciplined.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. But you see, the moment you leave it in the hands of individuals, they go there for their own individual needs now. Because I will not see the reason why, if the money for Nyamira and the authority that we transferred and the resources is meant for the people, why they should be tug of war?
So back to my question, so this tug of war that we see across the counties, it's not about the people and their interest, really. It's about some vested interest of some individuals who are running the counties.
Yeah, that's true.
That's your conclusion.
Could I? Okay, Honorable Chance, thank you. The truth is that we have never fully implemented the Constitution. Number two, we have very systematically and deliberately either been breaking down the structures which were set up by the Constitution to try and make sure that Kenya has good governance and management of its affairs. The challenges you see, and I'm so happy I'm hearing Honorable Chanzu say it, I don't know what my brother is going to say. We actually have reached a stage where now we need to have a Constituent Assembly to discuss openly, sincerely, and realistically what are the issues. Because I'll give you an example. We devolved funds to go down to the counties, but we ended up in the county headquarters.
Yes.
Like the money in my county, Kisii, the money leaves in Nairobi from the Controller of Budgets Office or Treasury. It comes to the CRF account, which is being managed by the executive, and that's it. And yet, everybody has been talking about the ward fund. The only way you make sure that the money and the structure exists, every county, you go, after the county, you go to the sub-county, which is the constituency. From the sub-county, you go to the ward. The ward is actually the very basic unit that is supposed to be where we begin. And yet, the money comes, it gets to the governor's office. Now, because we have become so crafty, the thing that Honorable Chanzo is talking about, you will find that governors are not releasing money to the projects which they budgeted for, which is against the PFM Act. But you see what the governor will do is come in, and because I've been sitting in some of those committees, they do what is called voiding. The governor doesn't pay what the budget says, and then as a result, he brings in a supplementary, then he changes out who is going to be paid, because now the governor who was elected recently is paying his friends. He's paying his projects. So we need, first of all, to agree. County governments who are wonderfully intentioned.
Yes.
County governments have actually, some of them have done wonderful work. But I can say out of the 100%, 47 counties, I would say maybe 10 are running effectively, functionally, minimum corruption.
Which is not a good scorecard.
No, it's not.
And part of your mandate is oversight. So I don't know, beyond seeing...
No,
what have you done?
That's a very good question.
That's why the people of Kisii elected you as their
Thank you. Yeah. I have consistently talked about why we have got a challenge. But you see, I'm not the one who can arrest. I'm not the one who can prosecute. I mean, I have more than 20 letters I've written to EACC saying money is being stolen here, money is being stolen. Nobody is prosecuted, nobody is picked to even be interrogated or even questioned why they're misappropriating the money. When you come to the point he raised about why members of the county assembly behave badly vis-a-vis the governor and all that, we never got the members of the county assembly, first of all, to understand what their responsibility is, and that is to oversight the governor. So what has happened now is that the way we have taken MCAs, governors are now actually managing, maintaining, and even funding MCAs who are supposed to be oversighting them. You can't.
So they cannot oversight.
They can't oversight.
That's unfortunate. I have to go on break, like right now, Sido. But when we come back, we'll start with you just so that you can weigh in on the subject. Of course, we're talking about the state of affairs across the counties. We are supposed to be talking about funding counties, but we cannot do that before we look at the other issues that are also ailing the devolved units. And we just want to take a very short break as we invite you to continue engaging us on social media at Safina_Cheng at Citizen TV Kenya. But for now, we take that break.